Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the People of Penn State podcast. I'm Ryan Jones. I'm the interim executive officer here at the Penn State Alumni Association, and really excited today to have on a proud alum doing really cool things in the business world, a fellow College of Communications graduate, so near and dear to my heart in that sense. Mikel Jones, class of 15. Mikel, welcome.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're a busy guy and a recently promoted busy guy, if I can include that, right? Can you tell folks a little bit about your role at Citi and in particular the recent promotion and your new role?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a really exciting time for me. It's been a really great transition from supporting the marketing team here at Citi. I used to work in brand and sponsorship communications and recently transitioned over to the marketing and content team. So it's been really exciting. I do a lot of work with our chief marketing and content officer, Alex Craddock, as well as our business execution and analytics team. So a lot of different components with that role, whether it be planning town halls, internal, external communications, bringing the team together for different colleague engagement opportunities, and really just focusing on how we can bring more connectivity to the team overall. Over the past year, our organization has seen a big transformation in terms of how the marketing team comes together, whether it be our business marketing teams or some of our shared capabilities teams that fall with under, brand and sponsorship communications or marketing innovation. So a lot of different components for the team that are coming together, and it's really exciting times because there's a lot of white space with the role that allows me to really just craft something that's new and exciting for colleagues to be able to enjoy.
Absolutely. Um, we definitely want to get into your Penn State story, but I'm curious to talk a little bit about your career path as well. So start out, if I'm correct, right, you were at JetBlue in corporate comms and then American Express prior to joining Citi.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, really, really exciting time at JetBlue. When I first graduated from Penn State, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And I actually ended up taking a job at the Apple Store here in New York City. So I worked at the Apple Store on Fifth Avenue for about a year, had a great experience there. It is probably the busiest Apple Store in New York or in the world for that matter. A lot of different customers that come in there, but it really taught me a lot in terms of, dealing with ambiguity, solving problems, helping customers, and just really being that frontline face that people see when they first when they first walk into your brand. So, very exciting time there. And then after that, I did find a job at JetBlue working in corporate communications. So that was my first job in the corporate world, really learning about how communications teams work and bringing, different topics together, whether it be, new product launches or crisis communications. So a lot of great experience there. And then after my time at JetBlue, I was at American Express working in more so consumer communications. So a lot of great experience there from, everything with customer acquisitions and really learning how the governance process works at a big organization like American Express from the moment a communication is, thought about to the moment it goes out the door. So really overseeing that whole process from end to end was a great experience for me.
And I want to ask about that because I think that's something that a lot of folks can relate to, right? You didn't start out in the dream job, right? Again, you're a senior vice president at Citi now, a massive corporation with a huge brand and recognition. But you started out again. You were working at the Apple Store in New York. I guess kind of what lessons did you take from that maybe other folks can relate to or learn from, that sense of understanding, hey, this is a step in where I want to get. It may not be the big first step I expected perhaps, but it's going to help me get where I need to go.
Absolutely. You don't have to have it figured out all right away. I think when I graduated, and when a lot of people graduate, some might see their friends going on a job. Sometimes you have, others that have offers and they haven't even graduated yet. And that definitely wasn't the case for me. So I think just learning to be patient with yourself and knowing to trust yourself and that your time will come in terms of something if you keep trying. It can be hard out there in terms of, finding a job. So I certainly understand what that's like because, I've also faced unemployment while here in New York City. So, really just being patient with yourself and understanding what skills that you can bring to the table, utilizing time when you feel like you're not in the dream job or in your ideal situation. What can you do during that time to really elevate yourself and perhaps work on other skills, whether that be networking or connecting with other folks, and really just thinking about how you can grow your skill set and maybe learn new things during that time that can help you get to that next step.
Right, right. No, it's great advice. Were there certain things that you took from your time at JetBlue and then at Amex that both helped you get to Citi and have kind of helped you thrive there?
Yes, for sure. I mean, when I first got to JetBlue, that was my first job in the corporate world, and I really had no idea how things worked. You really have to kind of figure it out as you go once you start. But when I started at JetBlue, one of my first weeks there, we had a situation where there was an unaccompanied minor. There were two unaccompanied minors who were actually put on the wrong planes, and so when they arrived, you can imagine how their mothers reacted once their that was not their kid. So, there was a situation, since I was on the corporate communications team, I was the one that was answering the phones with all the reporters and, having to work with the team on providing the statement and just collecting all those details. So, really thinking about that situation and, how that's really helped me think about problem solving and just working together with teams and thinking about how it really all does come together when you have a great team. I think high performing teams really operate in a way where everyone knows what their job is. And I think, when that's clear and you have great leaders in place, it allows you to do your job even better. So, just really learning how to work with different teams, a lot of different cross collaboration when it came to working on different products. So, everything from new route launches to, working on communications for different sponsorships at American Express. That's actually what kind of led me to an interest in brand and sponsorship communications, which was my previous role here at Citi. Really thinking about how can I get involved with that. So setting up coffee chats with folks at different points throughout the year to kind of learn what they do and understand how I can really get to that point. Because as you begin to talk to people and understand what their job is like and you take an interest to that, I think it's important to make sure you take that in for yourself and see how you can really get to that next level. So for me, that really did mean connecting with folks that are in the position and seeing what their job is like day to day. And, one thing led to another. And now I'm doing that exact thing that I wanted to pursue when I was at American Express. So I would definitely say just enjoy the ride.
What's the most enjoyable, makes it sound a little frivolous maybe, but what's the best part of the job? What do you sort of find the most satisfaction of in your day-to-day work at Citi now?
I love that Citi is a global company. The ability to connect with colleagues all around the world has been very rewarding. I've had a lot of great opportunity to travel to a lot of different countries and a lot of different cities across the U.S. So, everywhere from Tokyo to Rome to Budapest, there's been so many opportunities for me where I've been able to travel and, work on different campaigns and connect with folks around the globe. So just being able to have those opportunities and just getting to experience new cultures. Personally, I love to travel. So just being able to fulfill that passion through work has been really great. And really just, having that connection with people across the team and bringing it all together, I would say.
What's maybe the most sort of the biggest challenge as far as the thing that you've kind of had to learn or adapt to or kind of get your head around as far as just the challenges that are in the nature of a job like this and in a society with technology and everything else, things are constantly changing and evolving. What's maybe the biggest challenge around that for you?
I'm sorry, Ryan. You cut out in for that whole question.
No problem. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
No, I was just wondering about sort of the challenges in the job. Things are so fast paced increasingly with technology, right? And just the nature of everything these days. So sort of wondering what's the biggest challenge for you that, is maybe an opportunity and exciting as well, but the thing that maybe kind of requires the most focus and creative thinking and meaningful teamwork in your role.
100%. I would say working at any big organization, it can be tough to get projects done because there's always a certain amount of approvals and alignment that you need from other internal and external stakeholders to really get the job done or whatever task that you're seeking to accomplish. So, I would say that that's probably one of the toughest pieces, especially at a bank. When banks have a lot of different regulations that they have to follow. And so Citi is no stranger to that. I would say that when it comes to, understanding how you can accomplish that, it really takes a way of thinking outside the box. I would say for a lot of different projects, whether it's, social media campaigns or something that we want to do with some of our external partners, whether it be Aston Martin F1 or the Mets at Citi Field. There's a lot of different ways that we need to think about how we're going to accomplish what we want to within the regulations that we have. So, when it comes to working with our partners, that really just means getting alignment as quickly as you can, trying to figure out ways where you can partner ahead of time. I think having more agile forms of working where you can, meet with people ahead of that time where you get to the approval process and are really looking for, people's alignment. I think it's a better method to connect with folks in person and get them on the phone and get them in person to really make them understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish so that everyone can come together and come to the same conclusion in terms of where we want to get to. I think it can be tough hearing no sometimes from other stakeholders when it comes to something that you want to try to get accomplished, whether it be a campaign or some special project. But I think that, as long as you can think of ways to, get to that next step in terms of maybe it doesn't require, a certain way that you were thinking originally. Maybe it's something, maybe there's a different way to get to your destination. So it really can require, like I said earlier, what I learned from the Apple Store, dealing with ambiguity and sometimes you don't really know what the next step is. So really thinking about how you can just stay the course when it comes to connecting with folks and getting that alignment quicker.
That's great perspective.
I'm a huge sports fan. So yeah, that's been a very rewarding part of the job, getting to work on different sports activations across the world, really.
So it looks like a lot of golf, right? Ryder Cup, President's Cup, racing, Grand Prix, F1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the Mets are obviously, they play at Citi Field. Have there been a couple of highlights for you as far as, events you've been able to attend or, folks you've been able to interact with on the sports side that have been particularly memorable?
Absolutely. The Ryder Cup is definitely up there. That was one of my first golf tournaments that I ever attended. So it was really exciting for me to just get to experience that atmosphere, especially in Rome. I mean, what a beautiful place. And the team there on the ground, we had such a great time just being able to interact with our clients, but also finding ways where we could plan for the next Ryder Cup that's actually going to be here in New York. So, I would say definitely the Ryder Cup. The Miami Grand Prix with Aston Martin F1 was really exciting as well. We got to do some great content filming down there with our partner. And I would say lastly, when we were a sponsor of the Paralympics, just getting to go to all the games, I had the opportunity to go to Tokyo, Beijing, and Paris last year. So very exciting events, just to getting to meet our brand ambassadors and our athletes and really just get to understand their stories. There's a lot of different ways that you can connect with some of your partners. And I think the best way for us is really honing in on who they are as individuals and who they are as teams. So really just being able to tell a unique story, whether that be internally or externally, has been really exciting. And just getting to work around sports has been really fun for me. So, yes.
Did either of your parents go to Penn State or were you the first in your family?
No, my dad actually went to Pitt, which is really funny because he was not excited at first when I decided that I was going to go to Penn State, but he eventually came around and now he's actually a huge Penn State fan. And we did go to the Orange Bowl together this past January. Obviously didn't go our way, but we had a great time there and he loves Penn State football for sure.
That's great. It's good to know that your dad has come around.
Yeah.
That's encouraging to hear.
Yeah.
But so, again, you're a Bellisario grad, a journalism grad, as am I. I think I got about 20 years on you there, but we're both through that same really good program in the Bellisario College. You were involved in a lot of stuff when you were here. I want to start out with Lion Ambassadors because that's obviously something with the Alumni Association. They're a huge part of our organization. Students connected to the Alumni Association and obviously the great profile that the Lion Ambassadors have on campus. What got you interested in being a part of the Lambs, and what are your memories from that experience?
When I first got to Penn State, I guess I should rewind because, I actually ended up accepting my offer to Penn State before ever seeing the school, which a lot of people say is crazy. But when I got to campus, my mom and I immediately took our tour, which was fantastic. I mean, we had such a great time and I immediately felt like I was home. The tour guides who were Lion Ambassadors were so great. And I remember when the time came around for people to look at organizations that they wanted to join, I was really fascinated in becoming a Lion Ambassador. And I remember at the time you could not, I don't think you could join as a freshman. I remember being a little let down. I was like, oh, wow, I wish I could become one this semester. So I waited a year until I became a sophomore and was really excited for the opportunity when I got the call that I was selected to be a line ambassador, and having the opportunity to, give tours to prospective students and their families was really, really exciting, answering their questions and really just thinking about, how I can show my Penn State pride to them on a daily basis was really fun, and getting to share your Penn State story with them was always really great. So being a line ambassador was very rewarding. I loved being a part of the Alumni Association as well. I think getting introduced to the organization early on definitely taught me, in terms of what it means to be an alumni and how proud you can be as a result of graduating. So, I think being a line ambassador really had its perks, and I still, to this day, am friends with a lot of line ambassadors. I'm actually marrying someone who was also a line ambassador this year. So, line ambassadors was and will always be a huge part of my life.
Your fiance, Tara Bendler, right?
That's right. Yes.
Fellow class of 15 grad. The folks who aren't a part of it might not know, but the Lion Ambassador, that alumni network, is really strong and really great. It's, I think, one of those areas where people who had that common experience here on campus really tend to maintain those relationships for life in a lot of cases. So, it's great to hear that you and Tara obviously will. And then, if I'm correct, as a College of Comms student, you were a diversity ambassador for the college, right?
Yes, that's right. So did some work with Dean Selden, which was really great when he was on campus, and really got a lot of opportunities to connect with different students, throughout my time at Penn State. And even to this day, I still find myself connecting with a lot of different students of color on campus, which is really great for me. I think it's really important to be able to see yourself and other people. And I think, coming from a place where I was, number one, really far from, my home, which was Florida at the time, and going to a brand new place, I think just having the opportunity to connect with students of all backgrounds was really important to me. So really rewarding experience with Dean Selden, getting to work with him on a lot of those different initiatives.
And I'm guessing you probably worked a fair amount with Gary Abdullah as well.
Oh no, you're cutting out again, Ryan, I think.
Better now? How about now?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was just going to ask as well. I'm guessing within that role in comm, you probably worked a bit with Gary Abdullah as well.
Not at the time, actually. So I did become introduced to Gary this past, actually last year, when I received the Alumni Achievement Award. So got to connect with a lot of this different students that he's been working with, and still I'm speaking to some of them to this day, talking about different job opportunities and giving some of them advice, and, getting, just giving them, my take on how they can, take that next step in their career.
Right. Yeah, Gary's a great guy and such a great representative for the college, certainly. So I'm glad you guys have had a chance to connect.
Yeah.
You mentioned, and I'll jump ahead to it, but you were on campus last year as a recipient of the Alumni Achievement Award, which the Alumni Association gives out each year in collaboration with our college partners, sort of acknowledging career achievement for alums under the age of 35. It's a really impressive group. I'm here to be a part of the ceremony and to see such a young group of alums and what so many of you have already accomplished. First of all, it's humbling, right? It's kind of a tough room to be in for an old guy like me. Like, wait, you've all done this before 35? But it's really inspiring. What was that experience like for you to be back for that last year?
It was so exciting. Just being recognized like that was really, really special to me. I mean, and also having my family there, Tara there, and a lot of my friends came as well. So just having that recognition and getting to share that moment with my family and friends was really special. And just coming back to Penn State and getting to speak with students. I mean, it was really fun getting to walk around campus and, just have those memories of going to class. Usually when we go back to Penn State, it's for a football game. So it's a very quick weekend, but I was at Penn State for, I would say, about 5 days. And it was really great to just get to, experience the campus again. And I actually at the time gotten a tour of the new building on campus with Bellisario. So, it was really great for me to just come back and just relive some of those different memories and getting to just take in the moment.
And we have been proud. Can you hear me, Mikel?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Making sure. We've been really proud to have you back, and obviously that connection runs from your time as a Lion Ambassador when you were a student. Again, that's part of the Alumni Association. To have you back for AAA Alumni Achievement Awards last year, and you're also now a member of our Alumni Council. Can you talk a bit about what got you interested in serving on council? That's our volunteer leadership board, a really wonderful, essential group of alumni who contribute so much to our work at the Alumni Association. What got you interested in it? And then if you can talk a little bit about your role on council so far.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I had a lot of conversations with different folks that were on Alumni Council. And, from my time as a Lion Ambassador, I was already familiar with Alumni Council. So had a lot of great experience in terms of what the mission of the organization is, and really getting to understand like how they do make a difference, how we do make a difference in terms of, the experience for a lot of different folks connected to Penn State. So, for me, it's been really exciting to be a part of Alumni Council and just get to experience, the well-oiled machine that I've come to realize that it is. And for me, it's been really exciting to just connect with different committees and connect with other folks across the university that are really passionate about Penn State still, and have this want and this need to make Penn State a better place and make our Alumni Association a better place. So, it's really exciting to just get to, work with the committees and, work with all the different team members across the organization who are really doing some great work to elevate Penn State as an alumni association and as a university.
Absolutely. And it's, for us at the Alumni Association, obviously you guys are a tremendous resource and provide a lot of guidance and perspective for us as we, kind of do the job here day to day at the Alumni Association. We always appreciate that.
Yeah,
we've already highlighted again, Lion Ambassadors, heavily involved in the College of Com, but you were also, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, you were the head lifeguard at the McCoy Natatorium for a while. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, I forgot that's in there. Yes. Yeah, I loved that job, man. It was really exciting for me. That was like really my first like part-time job, I would say. And so, getting to wake up really early and go to the natatorium, it definitely had its really early mornings, but it was also really exciting to really just get to have a test run in terms of what the working world is like and having more responsibility and, eventually getting to the place where I was, managing a team at the natatorium, which taught me a lot of great leadership skills. So very exciting to get to do that. What was funny is that a lot of the times we were lifeguarding the swim team practices, and I could tell you that those guys and those gals could probably swim better than I could. So it was always great to get to, have that experience. And, especially the outdoor pool was really fun during the summertime. And I always loved being a lifeguard. So, and, it was a really intense job though. We had a lot of different, in services where we had to do training for 4 hours a month, which could be pretty rigorous. And so, Penn State definitely takes safety and risk and controls very seriously. So, just getting to be a part of that and get to be a part of a team was really fun.
And then the other thing that I believe you were involved in, again, I'm probably missing half of them, but coming off this past weekend, another incredible record-breaking year for Thon. You were a communications captain for Thon. I'm guessing 2014 or 15?
Yes, it would have been 2014. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, that's so much build up to just that incredible nonstop weekend of so much activity, but obviously so much goes into that leading up to it. What are your memories from your involvement in Thon?
Oh, so many. I mean, well, first of all, it was great to see, this past weekend, 17 million. Wow. I can't believe, how much Thon and, the students continue to raise each and every year. So that's been really exciting to see. My experience was just absolutely incredible. I mean, I didn't have the chance to be a part of a committee freshman year. And so I was still kind of learning my way around Penn State, but by the time sophomore year came around, I did have the opportunity to join a communications committee, which was great. And, from there, I decided I want to take this to the next level and, decided to apply to become a captain and, eventually was able to get that role. And it was really exciting. I still talk to a lot of those people to this day that I was on that committee with, and a lot of those folks still get together for football weekends and things like that. So having that experience and just really getting to become close to a lot of different folks at Four Diamonds was really great. And raising money for the fight against pediatric cancer, I think, is something that's obviously really special for Penn State. And I think a lot of different schools have, obviously begun to create their own types of dance marathons. I don't think anyone has matched Penn State yet, but, I think, in terms of the work that Thon is doing, it's great to see that every year. For me, it'll always have a special place in my heart in terms of, the impact that it had on me and the impact that I was also able to make on the organization. And so I think what's really exciting about Thon is how it's student run and being able to see how the students are really able to come together for, that final weekend. Thon, and I'm still sure they still say this is, Thon lasts all year, but, when that weekend finally arrived, it's great to see how it all kind of culminates and, how much money the students have raised for the fight against pediatric cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a chance to be involved a bit this year.
Oh, no, you're out again, Ryan.
Back now?
Yeah, back.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. With Thon, I had a chance to be involved a bit this year, and particularly to work with the students. The committee chairs are the alumni, Kristen Donahoe, if I'm hopefully remembering her name correctly, who kind of handled the alumni relations part. And again, across the board, what an incredible group of students, the dedication and the hard work that goes into that to make sure that the organization and that event in particular runs at the high level it does. It's pretty incredible. And another cool thing, again, for us here at the Alumni Association that I know you appreciate, there's a lot of overlap between Lion Ambassadors and our Blue White Society and Thon. There's always been a lot of involvement there too, which we're obviously really proud of. In general, we've covered so many of the things. You were one of these students who was just involved in a lot of stuff when you were here. Can you kind of speak to, for maybe any students who might come across this, the value of really immersing yourself and making the most of that Penn State experience while you're on campus?
Definitely. I mean, Penn State has so much to offer in terms of clubs, organizations, and just different opportunities for you to be able to get involved, whether that be giving back to your community or pursuing different passions. So I think what ultimately is the best thing about that and why students should take advantage of it is that it really supports your own growth, whether that be through leadership or what makes you tick, what keeps you going. So for me, having that experience to get involved and really just dive into different areas and have different friend groups and just have diverse perspectives, I think is really important. Having different areas where you can kind of, hang out with friends or, work on something together, so that whether that be like giving tours on campus or whether that be, raising money for Thon, I think a lot of it really does hone back in on, just developing skills and teaching you different life lessons. I think there's been so much that I've taken with me ever since my involvement at Penn State. And I've taken that now into my adult life, getting involved with different pieces of my community, whether that be volunteering on the weekends, doing extracurricular activities, getting involved with alumni council. And I think, to have a really fulfilling life, I think you really want to make sure that you're providing yourself with different areas where you feel like that you're either making a difference or you are pursuing your passion. So for me, I would say getting involved, during school is a great way to develop those skills early on to make sure that, the rest of your life, you're continuing to do great work for yourself and for others.
Absolutely. That's very well said. I think we covered a lot of ground here. Again, really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy, but to be able to speak to the extent of your Penn State connection and experience, both from your time as an undergrad and in the time since, you continue to be someone who gives back to the university and makes us certainly very proud. We really appreciate you taking the time and appreciate all that you're doing to make us look good out in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Ryan. This has been great.